What's up, you guys? Today, we'll talk about abstinence. Not usually a subject most people want to hear because they do not practice it, and they think those that do are slightly crazy, which I am. But I'm going to talk about what it could do for the mind, and the soul, and the spirit, and why it is so important in life to do this. Not commit fornication, you know what I mean, from a spiritual sense. And okay, so let's talk about the philosophy of it. So when you have sex with someone, right, your soul is kind of latching to their soul, and you are entering a reality that only you two can understand. That is why people go alone when they have sex, because it is only their reality, and it grosses anyone that is outside of that reality. It disgusts them because they do not understand it. Okay? So when talking about that, and sex before marriage, and when you latch to a soul, what it does is it gives you the false reality of love, a false love, an untrue love, because you're not bonded with God as your overseer, God being the bond in marriage. So without that bond and the joining of the flesh, it is a sin against oneself, because you are not committed to that person for the rest of your life. And when you do that, that is why people have so much trouble with their relationships and their romance, because they don't realize that you're supposed to, you have sex with someone and then you marry them. People do that, but the truth is it gives you a better idea of who you want to marry, because you're making your decision with your mind and your soul rather than your lower body where your desires lie. So you're using your higher self for thinking. And this will steer you on a straight path. You'll have no distractions. Do you really want to be looking for someone to sleep with every Friday and Saturday night? You know what I'm saying? Because what happens is that also takes away from your workplace, and you enter this daydream or fantasy of chasing women, which is unjust and unrighteous, rather than pursuing or serving the Lord. Now that's basically it in a nutshell. When I talk, I can't really talk like my own personal experience. It's kind of an embarrassing subject to talk about. I'm not really embarrassed to talk about it though. So, but it's just like you get in these daydreams with these people that you hardly know. You know what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden you're like madly in love with them. Then they just completely shit on you, and it's just like, and you figure out why everyone's partaking in this sin. And so when everyone partakes in it, it's like everyone's just shitting on each other, and it leads to a lot of unhappiness. Lust does in a lot of ways, not love but lust. So it's just something to think about, the seriousness. That's basically the overall idea of it. I could talk about it further. It goes into Adam and Eve, actually. That's one thing I want to touch upon. When they bit the apple, that was the idea of reproduction, okay? Sowing and being sowed, the seed. That's what the snake was, the temptation of sex. And that was the tree of knowledge, and what is good and evil. And that's why God can only decide what is good and evil, and what is of sin and what is not. So when you say sex is not of sin, it is, unless it's of marriage. So just some philosophy I drop on you, think about today, clearing my mind on the path towards goodness, righteousness. So, peace.